勝負は波じゃないぜ明日の川に負けたら最後未来が闇に閉ざされる愛する友の眼差しが倒れるたび傷つくたび俺を強くするルール破りのジャック悪の超人さあお遊びはここまでだラスト5秒のファイヤー逆転ファイター俺は炎の筋肉マン MUSCLE マッスル MUSCLE マッスル 3, 2, 1ファイヤー
Alright folks, good morning. Hope you enjoyed the small break after finishing Mina the Hollower, the last we streamed. Had a lot of fun with that in the off time. Finished a new game plus that was supposed to be my sub 4-hour achievement. 10 hours was close, but not quite close enough, but I did wrap up some other achievements for that. Today, we're going to be doing some Fields of Mistria. In particular, a bit of Fields of Mistria save editing for a couple of reasons. But there is an occasion for that. The occasion being... Let me turn the music off momentarily. Sorry, music, I know you just got back on. The occasion being that they just announced, as of 2 days ago, the release date for 1.0 Fields of Mistria, which, to reflect the roadmap that they had out for a while, marriage, children, new NPC, Saturday Market, and more, to include maximum level for the town repairing, the completion of the storyline as envisioned for 1.0 full release outside of early access. So, how about we start by checking out the 1.0 release date announcement, August 5th trailer that they put out a couple of days ago. Take it away. So why don't we go back bit by bit to look at this. August 5th. Just a couple of months away now. So there's a lot of new stuff, but a lot of old stuff for the trailer too. So we bounce around a little here. So first new thing we see is Stillwell, one of the new Saturday Market vendors. I think Stillwell is one that people knew about for a while as of data mining, I think. You could find a few things in the game from data mining. And of course, everybody loves Stillwell's design, so they've been eager to see him. Well, look at this. Look at March, so dapper for his wedding. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like it's a nice look for him. But I think I like him in his work attire more than his formal attire. But it's a special occasion, isn't it? I do also like that the altar that they have there is similar in design for the Caldaris altar that I put on my farm. I put a stone bench down with like a candle and some things. And that's not too dissimilar from what they're using there. It looks like it's Elsie officiating the wedding. I suppose she would be the closest thing to a priestess of Mara in this universe. But look at that. Look at March in his cute little suit. Still with his anvil belt buckle. March is a very high competitor for oh, would you look at this? We got the groom side here, the bride side there. Is this going off of your closest friendships? Because we got Caldaris and Celine as bridemaids. And then, of course, Big Brother Ulrich and best friend Rias for March's groomsmen there. But March has been pretty high up in my rankings. He was my first love for Fields of Mistria. And Juniper, of course, is very quickly overtaking him. It still remains to be seen who I'm going to end up marrying once the marriage part of the game comes out. But look at Juniper there holding her baby. It's a little bundle with a giant head. Now, I'm not saying this to take away from the game, but I just now realized, now that I was thinking about the proportions of the baby being a little bit tiny compared to the head, like, her legs have got to be all bunched up there. But they didn't make a new holding sprite, did they? It's literally just her hand on the hip pose with the baby pasted on top. Like I say, it doesn't take away from anything. I still think it's really, really sweet that we're seeing a maternal Juniper here. I figure that the way I knew Juniper, she'd be a very I'm too young to change diapers, even if she's pushing her mid 30s already kind of gal. It's a sweet scene. And one thing I notice here is I don't think this resembles the upstairs of the bathhouse. This is one of the right rooms in the farmhouse. You got the door over there on the left. You've got date photo decorations and a few furniturized artifacts. It was unknown what was going to happen with a marriage and such in the game, right? Because it hasn't happened yet. It was always going to be a 1.0 release thing. And so we could only speculate, but it looks like that she does spend at least some of her time at your home. Because everybody has their own place, right? Celine's got her cabin, March has his blacksmith, Juniper here has the bathhouse, and Dosie's there too. So do you just consolidate the entire household to your household, and then the person you marry leaves to follow their daily work route or socialization route, but then they and their family, in the case of Dozy for Juniper, Henrietta for Hayden, just come stay with you? Do we count Ulrich in that? Juniper has Dozy, and Hayden has Henrietta, but March has Ulrich. So does Ulrich move in? Because he is often described as a golden retriever kind of guy himself. And of course, the mines is the same stuff we've seen before. They are promising new mines content, new mines quests. So, was it mines or dungeons as they said? So even though the mines quest is complete as of the previous big update that unseals Ceridia on floor 100 and completes that in a very climactic display. That's pretty much endgame material, nothing left to do but get hitched already. There's more to the mines and more to the mines and just grinding. They got more quests for us. The music is pretty hot at this part, though. It sounds a little bit more adventure-y, a little bit more Zelda-y. But go on ahead, because there's more stuff I want to look at here. This is also same old stuff, but I can't help but notice that I'm still seeing the velvet rope in front of this door, in front of that door. So, maybe the museums will be ready to fully explore by the time 1.0 comes out, but it seems that, well, this is Errol at the beginning saying, could you bring us archaeological finds and whatnot? Plants, insects, and fish of the region. So maybe by this point of the game, it's just like the early access and there's a velvet rope in front of the doors because the museum exhibitions are closed, they're empty, there's nothing to look at, there's no point having people go in, they're just gonna make out in the dusty corners. So they're just sealed off from the general public until you start populating the museum wings. But hopefully that's one thing that's also included. Hopefully that's rolled into the and more. I'm still seeing they got a multi-season fish set for completing one of the things. But I'm still seeing the velvet rope in front of the fish. And look at that. That is Lynette. And so if that is Lynette standing next to Adeline, that can only be the Baron himself standing next to Ayland. My assumption is that they were going to show up around the time that you fully complete the town, around the time you get married, because it'd be kind of like Patrick Stewart showing up at the end of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, to give away the bride or whatever, right? But where was wedding stuff? There's no Baron and Baroness at the wedding. We just see Great Auntie Elsie representing. And one of the dragon gods is only present as a bridesmaid. No Baron, no Baroness. But there they are, so maybe it's after the town rank gets maxed up and the town of Mistria is no longer merely recovered from the earthquake, but fully exceeding its previous state and reaching top Mistral rank to be a shining, what is it, a shining beacon in Aldaria, perhaps. That the Baron and Baroness return. Now, for my romance rankings, right now the top for me. March, Juniper, Valen, a little bit of Ceridia, and everybody else's various levels of playing keep up, right? What I do gotta say that for Adeline especially and a bit of Aelin, there is a very compelling narrative hook to go for them, especially since Adeline was the one that invited you to town in the first place, putting out the request for an adventurer to come in. They could have the farm and the farmhouse in exchange for building the farm back up and helping out throughout the town to repair the town and help it thrive again. That was her plan. And so there's a bit of a narrative something for Adeline for this to be her project to bring an outsider in. The outsider helps the town, makes the town break the old records and old expectations. They fall in love. Her parents, the Baron and Baroness, come home. They have a great big wedding. There's kinda... It's a very strong narrative weave, I think. Now, we'll see who I go for. But it's a very compelling narrative argument. I wonder if they're going to become like a permanent presence back in the manor. And basically, Adeline is going to be displaced from being town leader. And maybe that's going to be something of a shock to her that she'll have to adjust to, coming up with a new routine. Because on the one hand, Adeline is basically the most present person in planning and executing the repairs, right? And so, for every single upgrade, every single thing you unlock, even as much as a lost and found with the Dragon Guard, Adeline is there. So maybe logistically, they can only show up at the very end once Adeline's work is done, and then she could finally take a break. All the more reason to honeymoon with her. Honored and delighted to announce a 1.0 release in August. So there's plenty to look forward to. All that, and Heart Cap Race to 10 Hearts, 10 Heart Proposal and Wedding Event for Romanceable NPCs, Marriage and Children, Stillwell, and Zorel during the Saturday market. Now, the game does let you date every single person you're allowed to. So for the 10 Heart event, you can marry one person. What's going to happen for all the boyfriends and girlfriends that you choose to not marry? Additional dungeon quests, additional dungeon rewards. Notice they don't say additional mines quests or additional mines reward. So there's still the possibility that it's additional stuff inside the mines. And there's also the possibility that it might not be the mines at all. When you talk to the townsfolk, was it Ceridia who mentions how she had a tower, a magical floating tower, that fell into the bay? And maybe there's going to be a new dungeon. Maybe we're going to get to travel through Ceridia's tower that fell into the bay, which isn't too far away. And at some point, one of the royal requests is for helping with something involving an unidentified monster on some other island. So you send some monster parts to see if they could ID it. That could also be a hook for something, a content hook. So maybe it's more stuff for the mines, maybe it's more stuff for Ceridia, or stuff at all. For Ceridia's tower in the bay, we'll have to see. Renown level cap to max, additional town repair questline events, complete town repair storyline, additional requests for the request board. I am out. Additional museum sets and rewards, additional skill perks. Furniture decor, cosmetics, mount skins. I saw the chicken. So far in the game, your horse could either be a horse, or it could be large animals that you have got, what was it, 5 hearts with? But chickens are small animals, so that means if you could ride chickens eventually, that there should be a time when you're able to ride smaller animals. So maybe that's going to be an additional skill. Let me just toss a quick. I see he's drawing cheese emotes today, so I'll throw a cheese emote onto him. Maybe stinky cheese? Stinky cheese? Stinky glitch. And his M&M's browse emote. Achievements are finally going to be added. People don't know whether you have to start a new game for that, or if it's going to just unlock. For some games that don't have achievements and then do, they program it in such a way that if you have things done, it'll recognize it and give you the achievements. But there's plenty of other games that don't do it that way. Either they cannot or they do not. And so it might be that a whole new game is simply required. I suppose that remains to be seen. Balancing optimization and more. And only the beginning. So that's going to be some pretty exciting stuff. A scant 2 months away, we're going to get Fields of Mistria 1.0 out of early access, full release. There's probably going to be expansions or DLCs or just other updates on the horizon after that. Desktop audio is kind of loud right now, isn't it? Let me tone it down a little bit. There we go. But the game is going to be at its base, completed state. Which means all the naysayers were wrong and they could quit complaining. They overshot their 1-year early access estimate, yes. But that was a very optimistic estimate. This isn't the first game in the history of gaming, let alone the history of early access, to miss one optimistic deadline, push a little bit after, with fairly frequent major updates. And then come out strong in the end. Naysayers, all the people on the Steam discussion forum that said, I would bet that it never comes out, Fields of Mystery is never coming out. So, what do you have? Do you have Cash App? Do you have Venmo? Are we gonna sell this? Because, if they were saying that they bet Fields of Mistria is never going to leave early access, it's time to pay up, you know? It's time to put their money where their mouth is. They talked a big talk, and I bet doesn't mean nothing. I bet actually means something. Now, other things that Mistria has announced on top of the release dates is they have a new engine that they're working on. Not the 1.0, we saw the news for that already. But they currently have a beta branch going on. And unlike Europa Universalis 5, the beta branch is entirely for testing. You can play with it, you can toy around with it. I think you can continue your save into the beta branch, but because of the nature of the testing, the progress in the beta branch does not carry back over to the main game. So this is play how you like, carry your saves in if you want, mess around, break things, try to mod stuff, get under the hood, see what works, see what doesn't, report back to us. But progress made here is not going to go back to the main game. And yeah, they want a new engine. They're working on a new engine, so they have it tested right now before 1.0 comes out. Improve game performance, eliminate silent crashes. The game is fairly stable, but crashes do still happen, and you know, they want to mitigate that. That's great for them. Future-proofing development, facilitate future platform support. Everybody who's been asking, when is this coming to Switch? Is this coming to Switch? Maybe, if the engine works out. And so that is why I want to do some save editing now. Because there is a way to extract the JSON files, edit them, and then reinsert them into the game. Lots of people do it for things like, oh man, I didn't realize that choice with the one friend option and the pink romance option was the only time I have to say I want to date somebody. I want to date them, but I chose the friend option instead. How do I go back and make them romanceable again? Well, worry not, young player, because guides like this get into the extracting of the saves, unpacking the saves, editing the saves, repacking the saves, injecting the save. Primarily so people could fix mistakes they made in romance. But it works just as well for one mistake that I've made. Let's see. This is bed save and then book save. So auto save and manual saves. Would you look at that? Because of all the manual saves I got, we got like a little history of me from year 1 onwards. Look at that dork. Look at that dorky haircut. I thought that was good. Then we made it a little bit better. Looked a bit more like a farmer. As early as fall of year 1, we were already getting a bit haughty. We found our crown. Still dressing kind of like an adventurer. With our rugged clothes and our work boots, we got a crown and a cape already. And then full-on noble outfit, that's it. It's all gone to our head, it's all gone to our head. Year 2. Permanent outfit practically, maybe the cloak changes, but this is us now. Year 3. Year 3, we got our Mistral stuff, it looks like. But then we figured, well, we've been dressing as if we owned the place for long enough. Let's go back to our roots, Dragonsworn, forget the roots, we're back to being noble again. Well, I guess it's more, I can't be dressing in robes all the time, it gets hot. So, summertime, we'll dress a bit more summery. Autumn, it gets cool again, we can bring back the cloaks and the capes. Winter, same, it's cold. Spring, let's dress a bit more springy. Then summer, and then we're just back to it. It's a look that I adore, so I'm gonna stick with it. But the trouble is, the thing that I want to save edit for isn't that I ruined any relationship, because I'm quite happy with the explorations we've been doing. Initially, it was March, Juniper, and Caldaris, and then I opened myself up to exploring basically everyone just to see how they play, who I like, who I dislike. Hayden is too close to me. Hayden we kept on best friend status, because for me, Hayden is looking into a mirror. And I am not so conceited that I'm going to date myself. Instead, I will be the best wingman and best friend you could ask for. But everybody else, try different relationships, different romances. March and Juniper are still up there. Reyna's playing catch-up, but she's really close, just like Adeline, just like Gayland. Ceridia, you get to bang the Witch Queen, Dragon Goddess herself. I feel like Ceridia is a type of woman who is happy with a bit of Oyakodon. So, one thing I envision is that Ceridia is probably going to be happy playing Dami Mommy while I date and marry her descendant Juniper. Valen is also really compelling too. I feel like, because this is a fantasy world game, there's plenty of options here that I probably wouldn't go for in real life. Like, we have the chance to date or marry quite possibly an actual descendant of the Witch Queens, and a pretty haughty Witch Queen of her own, you know? Fantasy world, you have the option. It's very compelling. But if this is real life, I might go for Valen, because Valen has a certain sweetness that is just amazing for real life, you know? But the mistake I made... Where is it? Where is it? Where is the me information? Spring 5! My birthday in real life is January 10. January 10 in the real world is late winter, but also the start of the year. And so I struggled with where I would put a January 10 birthday in Fields of Mistria. Do I make it towards the end of the year? Because January, even early January, is late winter. In this game, winter is a 4-week month, and so I would probably put it somewhere in the last week. Or do I put it in early spring. Because while January is towards the end of winter, in our calendar, it's the start of the year. And in Mistria calendar, the start of the year is spring. And so if I want January 10 to be towards the start of the year, I would put it in the first week of spring. And I went back and forth, but I was playing a brand new game, so I couldn't deliberate on where to put my birthday. For 2-3 hours, I had to play the damn game. And so I chose early spring for January 10, because we're going to put it at the very start of the year. Much like my birthday is pretty much in the early part of the year, the start of the year, right? Wrong. I've regretted my choice every single time I've played since. On the one hand, January in our calendar is the start of the year, and so if I'm playing this game, it feels nice to me to have my birthday at the start of the year, because it kind of matches. But the trouble is, objectively, January is winter. I'm still a winter baby. Whether that winter birthday is at the start or the end of the year is pretty much entirely down to how you're doing the calendar. Do you want the calendar to begin in the spring or after an arbitrary date in the middle of winter? And I think I chose poorly. I've been regretting it ever since, and ever since then, I wanted to have some way to change my birthday. And this is our way to do that. So, let me put a manual save over here. Where did I put my... There I put my journal. My hands are still in the field of mystery, in the meat of the hollower configuration. So I was jumping, because for whatever reason in meat of the hollower, your primary attack, talk, interact, advanced text button is one of 3 cancel buttons. So you have to use enter or space to confirm, because for whatever reason they divorced the primary attack, interact, talk, advanced text from and confirm. It is so weird. There's our Vivian. I did kind of go very purple on my theme for this game, huh? I mean, I guess Vivian... We could choose a color of Vivian, that's right. We had options there. We don't have options for Mistmare. Mistmare is always purple. With the pet, you get a choice. The master bedroom, I went full-on witchy. So maybe Juniper really is just going to be the natural fit. Maybe in Fields of Mistria, as I get isekai'd into this fantasy adventure farming world, I'll simply go witchy. With the Witch Queen, Dragon Goddess, Oyakodon Lover as my right-hand vizier, my personal genie. And so now we got our autosave, and then we'll have our manual save to toy around with. Now, what do I want my birthday to be? First, I gotta sneeze. Except I don't gotta sneeze, it doesn't want to come out, it just wants to be itchy. Calendar events, Fields of Mistria. One thing I don't want to do is have overlap between my birthday and events. I don't think it makes a major difference, but I'm pretty sure that if there's an event going on in town, that it does kind of override some of the flavorful stuff. So it won't completely ruin your birthday. But I'm pretty sure that if your neighbors want to talk about whatever festival's going on, they're going to talk about that in lieu of, hey, happy birthday, I got you another perfect cheesecake. So, we know of days that are currently in the game for festivities, but there's other events that have been data-mined. So, spoilers, but we're doing a save editing game right now anyway, so we were already gonna do some fucky stuff. Early into December, winter I should say, or early into winter we have the Animal Festival, then towards the end we have the Gift Festival, and New Year's Eve on the 28th. Unreleased event scheduled every year on the 28th of winter. Unreleased event scheduled every year on the 24th of winter. That feels very Christmassy. A winter gift-giving event on the 24th. And then the 28th being New Year's Eve makes absolute perfect sense. Because that's when the new year is, between the 28th of winter and the 1st of spring. So let me go back in real quick so we could look at the calendar. Physically look at it. There we go. So, I currently have it as the 5th of the first week of spring, being my birthday. This was my interpretation for January 10. Early in the year, but then we still have like March, April, May. So it's not completely at the start, though I guess 3rd would probably fit better. If I'm squeezing all of January, February, March, April, May into spring. Except that's no good, because squeezing in January and February is adding a month and a half of winter. So, if I want to change this so that January, instead of being early in the new year, is late into winter, would we count it as late into winter? Because November is kind of the end of autumn, right? For autumn, we properly got September, October, November, yeah? And then winter, we kind of count December, January, February, spring, March, April, May, summer, June, July, August. So, maybe, for a Capricorn like myself, maybe it's more fitting in the middle of the month. Which, if that's the case, we have a lot of Capricorn babies. At least from Errol, Darcy, and Adeline. And so, for the late winter, we have Hemlock's birthday on the 23rd, then gift giving, blank blank blank, and then New Year's Eve. And we got Saturday markets every Saturday. The out-of-towners have their birthdays on Saturday, because that's when they're in town. So it behooves them to have their birthdays on Saturday so you could actually celebrate it. There's no point having Vera's birthday on Thursday if you could only talk to her on Saturday. Errol's got a birthday on Saturday. Celine has one on Sunday. Holt is a Sunday baby. Henrietta's a Sunday baby. So I could put it on the weekend. My feeling is that on top of... Some months are kind of cusp months, right? Because, like... November is fairly autumny, but November is also an early winter month too, same as February is kind of half winter, half spring itself. But part of me also feels like because my early January birthday comes after Christmas, and the Christmas equivalent in the game is on the 24th, then maybe I should have my birthday after the 24th? See, now I'm getting to the point where I'm thinking, do I even need to change my birthday? Is it better in early spring after all? But no, it's not. It's gotta be somewhere in winter. I kind of feel like maybe after Adeline's. So maybe from the 19th onward. But how sweet would it be if Adeline and I share the same birthday, if I were to end up marrying Adeline? We could end up marrying the daughter of the town, who's been working very hard to repair the town in the Baron and Baroness's absence. So, you know what? Ceridia did offer her magic to us to aid whatever ambitions we have. So we could use some of Ceridia's magic to rewrite the fabric of reality to put our birthdays together. Could? Where's MP83? I see that he's finished his stream, and I finished that Woody Poco post-it note NFT of his. You just gotta come over and claim it now. Okay. But for now, let's do some of the save editing, because we have the process here. I've already gone ahead and gone to GitHub. Where is it? Well, let's go back. Oh yeah, over here, right? To the Vault C program thing. Releases, downloading the exe. Got a file here I move the exe to. Because that's what this thing wants to do. Unpacker, download it, go to release, download the exe. Make a new folder on my computer. Home base for all the save file editing. If I mention a file or folder, assume it's in this base folder. Move the exe there. Done. New subfolders called original saves, unpacked saves, and repacked saves. Names are arbitrary, I'm going to refer to them. I am going to simplify it because we got to type. And so we'll make one for... What do you want? Original. Original. Unpacked. Repacked. Find the save file you want to edit and copy paste it to the original saves subfolder created. Okay, so you guys don't have to look at my dirty laundry. Let me go ahead and turn off the capture there for a second, the desktop capture, so I can go pull out my folders. Where are you hiding? Fields and Mistria folder? See users, your name, app data local. App data local. Where's my app data local? Give me a second to find my stuff. See users, me. You know, a long time ago, when I got this computer in 2019, I meant to write Guinea as a username, but I typoed it to Gwyneth, and it never let me correct it. So Gwyneth it is. Okay. App data. Where's my app data? You're not hiding the app data from me, are you? Where's view hidden items? View hidden items. There's app data. Local fields of Mistria. And then saves. (2/25/26). No, date modified. 6/8/26. A few minutes ago, save file. And there's a cloud save, forget the cloud save, and beyond that we have 3 months ago. So let's move that manual save we just made then. And by move, I mean copy it. To original? There. Game those numbers. You know, I had to uninstall that Paradox Unpacker program that I used to mess around with the EU5 early into the Guelphs and Ghibelline stuff. Because every single save file, because that program was being identified as Stellaris save file, I don't even have Stellaris, Europa Universalis 5 save file, because all SAV files are being pegged as some flavor of Paradox save file. Okay. Original save subfolder, copy instead of moving it, don't want to lose data. Name the copy of the file something I'll remember. Because we're going to be using some, what is it? Where's the thing? We're going to be using some typey to do what we want to do. And typing game-1197-635-007-1523-120-740. Oh fuck, I mistyped something halfway through. Game-1197. I'm not gonna jiggle myself. So let's rename you the very inspiring save. Run the unpacker with the following terminal command for the new folder. Now, this I messed up a lot when I was practicing before. I was practicing this before because I did want to change the birthday for a while. But there was a snag that we'll see very, very soon. Okay. Vault C-x8664 PC Windows MSVC v0.13.0.exe is wrong. Because the version we've got now is 0.14. Thank you very much. Let me just rearrange things here so I could have my work and my instructions on the same side. In my new folder. Okay. So. I forget that the quotations are important. Should I be doing / or just /? So let's see. I promise to know how to type. Vault C x84 86 _ 64 PC Windows MS VC v 0.14.0.exe unpack original is what I saved this as, right? This name this folder as original / save.sav unpacked / original. Now, we'll just do save. We named this as save. Run this with PowerShell. Dot is not recognized. Okay. So if I cut the dot out, vault C yada 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 is not recognized as an internal or external command. Vault C dash 86 underscore 64 dash PC dash Windows, I spelled Windows correctly, dash MSVC dash v0.14.0.dxe is not recognized as an internal or external command, operable program, or batch file. Now I had this trouble before and I got around it by simply trying to fix my spelling. Now, clearly, point 13 is not going to work. What have I done? And we didn't name it original saves, we named it original / save.sav to unpacked / save. The quotes aren't going to matter at all because of that. So, unpacked / save. Original.save is actually save.save. And this is merely point 14. That's the only difference I got to make. So what's the matter, you, huh? Is not recognized. Is it because I'm opening it in this folder where this is not located? What if I move you over there too? How now? Vault C dash 886 underscore 64 dash PC Windows MSVC dash v0.14.0.exe unpack original save.sav to unpacked / save. Thread main panicked. Couldn't open .sav file. Not found. System cannot find the path specified. I know I got this to work before. In fact, I actually have there's my Mistria folder, meme folder, overfloater, CurseForge. Where'd I put the other one? Chizomythos. There. I've actually got a prior folder from the initial attempt at this. There's my original. There's my unpacked. And so I was actually able to unpack things before. I did get it to work. And as far as I know, I'm following the instructions correctly. So, how did I make this turn into all this with the same Vault C-x86_64 PC Windows MSEV 0.14.0, exact same one. To all that, what did I do differently? New folder on the computer, home base, we're here. We're in that, we're good. EX file to the new folder, it is. That's hot off the GitHub, just like they wanted. Should I just name it original saves? The same way he does? Just make it easy? That way I could just copy paste if I needed to. It's arbitrary. It's not required to name them the exact same thing. But I guess I should minimize all potential variables. Original saves, unpacked saves, repacked saves. Find the save file I want to edit, copy it to original save subfolder we created. We did. There's save.sav. Let's just name it original.sav then. Just for them. Original.sav. Then run the unpacker. You know, dating trans, so much of it was learning to pack, and now we're trying to unpack. From my new folder. Is it because I'm just using the command interface and not the PowerShell? I got the PowerShell to work before. Let me see something. Alt-D or Control-L, type PowerShell or PowerShell Ise, press Enter. In Windows, the command shell is called the PowerShell. There's another older command shell called the command prompt. Official Microsoft policy since Windows tends to use a newer PowerShell. That's what we recommend. Much closer to Mac OS and Linux versions shown in class, yada yada yada. Home directories. Where's my folder? There's the old saves folder, keep that up. Okay. So much like command, just typing PowerShell instead. Alright, if it's blue, will it be better behaved? We're in original saves now. So, vault C dash x86 underscore 64 PC Windows MSVC. Let's go over here so I know that I'm spelling it correctly. Vault C dash x86 underscore 64 dash PC dash Windows MSVC. Oops. Dash V0.14.0. Yeah, that's all correct so far. Where was I? .exe. Unpack. Original saves, original.sav. Unpacked saves / original. Vault C - all that is not recognized as the name of a command-let function script or operable program. Check the spelling of the name, or if the path was included, verify the path is correct and try again. Unpack saves original. What if I made it unpack saves original.sav? Not recognized. Because one thing I observed is whatever I did before, not that one. Whatever I did before, I ended up with my original save with the original there, and then the unpack save with original inside of it, and then all that. What if I cut out the original part? Not recognized. So at this point, when I rename things, the files are the same file name, the folders are the same folder name. What if I just copy-paste the entire string? Inverted commas and all. Just let me change the version number here because that is objectively wrong. Not recognized as a name of a commandlet function or the rest. You should have a decoded copy of all of your saved data in a new folder at an unpacked save / original. What if I put an originals there? Category info object not found. Vault C, all that, 0.14.0, string, command not found, exception. Command not found, exception. Whatever I did get it to work before. I could just run it through here. But then I'll have to repack it, and so I'll have to figure out what I did in reverse anyway. got the Vault C. We went to releases. We got the EXE. That's this baby over here. Should I run it as administrator, maybe? Maybe if I run it as administrator, that's the magic that I was missing. Or maybe it's because I was still in original saves and not here in the main folder where the actual program is. Point 14. Unpack original saves, original. Unpack saves, original. Panicked. Couldn't open .save file. Code 2 kind not found. System cannot find file specified. So we got a different error this time. So it is asking the program to unpack in the original saves directory file original sav. Original? Did I misspell original? Original? Original. Dash saves, dash saves. Original. Original. Dot sav. Dot sav. Is me putting the dot sav there making this original dot sav dot sav? What if I cut off the sav at the end? Just make it original. And it's still a sav file. So it's still original.sav. No error? So, for those of you who are trying to figure out fields in Mistria save editing, and for whatever reason you found your way to this YouTube recording, I guess, the archive on YouTube of this Twitch stream, we've minimized the variables by renaming everything the same way as over here, even though it says name it whatever you want and arbitrary. I'm going to use it like this. First hang-up was opening from here, from the main one, because that's where the program was. The second hang-up was original.sav, was actually original.sav.sav. And so, if I pop on over this way, I see that thing over there. Let's cut that. Yeah, there's all that. I suspect that little bit of punctuation at the end was because I was copy-pasting the original thing that maintained the inverted comma there, the inverted comma there, and that inverted comma ended up in the file name. But there we go. There's all that. And so that gets us all the files that we could open. Open the files in a new folder, see human readable JSON. Okay, game data.json is where they want me to go if I want to adjust the romances. Because here we got museum progress, various props, lost items, Western Ruin stuff. Oh, this is lost items for all those things. Pet set to forageable. Heart points. I could set the heart points of my pet. What items it's wearing. Maximum Minds level, 99. Where are we? Pet will close, seals. World facts. Health. Juniper status romanceable. Time of day. Reyna status romanceable. Baylor status romance. Romance Iridia. So if what you wanted to do is change whether somebody loves you or not, you would do all that, you would go to here, and you would set the status of the character. Romantic, romantic, romantic. Various post-romantic and other conversation flags. Conversation, conversation, endless conversation. These guys just do not stop. We see Juniper, Reyna, Baylor, Ceridia. Where's everybody else? Scene history. Dying. Weather. Oh man, it's gotta be buried under T2 World Facts, isn't it? I gotta go past all the conversations to see everybody else. Had items. Had items. Hayden was last spoken to. It tracks when they were last spoken to. And look at that number value. That is the number value for whatever date and time you spoke to them last, right? Well, look at that. BF sent me a Snapchat of Fish. He's over in Colorado, hanging out with his brother and some friends. Oh, there's a turtle. Museum donations. Taliaferro. Museum entry. Juniper outfit Autumn. Darcy animation idol. I see Nor, I see Valen, I see museum stuff, I see Darcy again. Caldara's post-recovery finished. Rias outfit Autumn. Baylor routine. General store shopping. Zorella's at Aldaria/default. Not yet. Juniper Zone, town bathhouse exterior. Look at all this peeking under the skirt of the game. Celine is in the living room. March is in the bathhouse change room in the seats. Ulrich is manning the blacksmith store till. Now this is all cool stuff, and you could... Let's close all this other stuff. Since it says that I'm automatically close various tabs when I come in and out. There's lots of stuff in here. Beach checksums, date photos, Eastern Road farm, game stats, progressions, income. Location visits 00 must be okay, you've done it. Pop-up 1. Day 404.0. Version 15.3. What about? There's Hayden's farm. That was game stats. How about game data? Museum progress. Probably just looked at museum progress or game data.json, didn't we? Lost items, yeah. T2 pets, seals, T2 world facts. We've looked at game data already. Don't freeze on me. Oh, it's freezing on me. It's got the... Let's give me the hourglass. Header? What's Header got for us? Playtime 630,346. Clock time 22,652. Stats, guinea acres. So I guess this just makes up... I mean, there's me. There's the things that make me me. Info.json. Version. Minor, major, patch 3. Creation version, last played. Player.json. Annual item purchase bans. Scent of Spring. I've been banned from buying the Scent of Spring. Who put long curly black hairs in my tea? It's really offensive. It's got my equipment in my inventory. Farm name Caviacres. 8 soup false. I could still eat soup today. We got the large west east house upgrade. Pin spell to summon rain. Stats current health 200. Null effects. Perk activity. Current stamina, health, essence. Free bath 0. I'm all out of free baths. I can give myself more free baths. Name Guinea, skill experience, date history, March, in meal, gem cutting. Look at those timestamps. Look at those timestamps. What am I supposed to interpret that as? Is it counting the seconds, the minutes? Some other bizarre internal numbering system? Now, I don't expect it to be fully legible English, but this is foreshadowing the difficulty I had before in trying to see, okay, I do want to change my birthday. How do I change my birthday? Okay, these are just all the date stuff we have. Date history will close. Festival date partner, secret beach, secret narrows, scene cosmetics. My position in the world right now is 292, 270. Items, I've unlocked these dates. Items sold. Pending renown entries, crown cooldown. Floorings. Animal cosmetics. Pronouns. Wallpaper. Morning recipe unlocks. Oh my goodness, how many Snapchats is he setting? It's purple, so it's long videos he's got pending to come through, I guess. Revenge for all the catwalk videos I've been sending him. Renowned rewards, perks, armor, mounts, lost and found. World Fountain has gossip today, false birthday. There is a value for my birthday for the 5th of spring. 345,600. That is a pretty scary thing to change, I think. I don't know what to do with that. I wouldn't know how to begin changing that. This is currently the 4th year in game. So maybe it's counting the last birthday we ever had. Maybe 345,600 is how you list Spring 5 of the 4th year. Maybe that is the case, because the calendar is currently showing the 4th year. And so the date here is going to be such, yeah? Because it's showing for this calendar, for this year. So would the easiest thing to do be to play from this point up until winter, I guess, of whatever day I want to be my birthday, and then record that down, and then change the value here? Now, I've already had a birthday this year. What I don't want to do is have 2 birthdays in a year. I want to do it honest. I don't want to cheat my friends, lovers, and neighbors and make them give me golden cheesecake en masse twice a year. So, ideally, my plan is to make it where I get past the point where I want the birthday to be, change my birthday to that point, and then from the next year onwards, my birthday will be that date. So, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I want to do. But that is a very power off, shutting down phone. I don't want it going womp womp, womp womp, womp womp every time it loads the next. What is it? Snapchat sends video length at once. 10 seconds? The next 10 seconds in? That hair is still in there somewhere. And now that my phone is off, I can't use the flashlight. There it is. It's on the outside. That's why I couldn't scoop it out from the in. Who? Who is trying to sabotage me with long curly black hairs? In my head, I was thinking black, brown, black, brown, black, brown. Came out gray? That's not even in the equation here. Spells learned, recipes created, animal variants, pet skins, legendary fish, we got them all. Inbox, cosmetics unlocks. So, as far as I can tell, that's birthday. That's gotta be the only way to change birthday. So, it's not as simple as just opening up wherever this screen is and changing spring 5 to winter whatever. I wish it was that easy. Cosmetic unlocks. Cavi Acres, where was pronouns? Because it wasn't too far off from pronouns on that. But this isn't going in the order. Pronouns is over there. Pronouns is over there, then birthday below. And farm name isn't below that either. So I guess whatever this screen is, it's here's this field, draw from this Jason. This field, draw from this Jason. This field, draw from this Jason. This field, draw from that Jason. Yeah? It'd be nice if it was as easy as just change the value. There's a name, there's a Cavi Acres. Are there player home east, north, upper central, priestess quarters, quest, ruin seal, summit, town, void seal, water seal, western ruins. We did info already. That's just, I guess, game aversion stuff. So if I want to change the birthday, it's gotta be there. And if I make any changes, I gotta repack it all. You can see why this is an intimidating prospect for me. Game stats we looked at. Games data we looked at. Farm bin, and farm Jason. There's a little speck somehow under the protective layer of plastic on my screen. Dynamic grid, farms. Date photos, Deep Woods, Dragonsword Games, Checksum, Beach. What's Checksum's got? Glade, farm, game data, info, water seal. If there was a way to easily change the date to what I want, I guess what I could do is we could make a new game. A new game with a new birthday. And we could see what happens if I set a birthday on one game and then move that data over and then see how it manifests. Let's try it. But first, it's been about an hour and 30, right? So, perhaps what I'll do first then is we'll take a BRB for now. And then when I come back, we'll see what I can get away with messing around on. And if this plan is even feasible, realistic, if I should do it at all. I might just live with spring 5th birthday, but I do kinda want to change it to winter too. The curse of being a Capricorn. Alright, I've finally gone through all the snaps BF has sent me. So, let's get back into game, shall we? The mystery of how to turn this numeric value here, that I'm pretty sure represents a birthday, on the spring 5th of the 4th year, as I'm pretty sure what this value is representing, not just spring 5th in general, that's what the value is going to be this year. So I don't know if I could actually change the birthday, so where is this drawing from? This is showing where the date is going to be this year. So where's it calculating from then? That's what I want to know. It's showing me a whole bunch of values, but it's not the guts of the game. This is simply the variables and other values that we could change around. And a lot of these are for reflecting or changing the various states of various maps. There's nothing in game's data, right? Because I looked at before. Museum. Props, farm expanded, yes, no, lost items. Story enabled. T2 expirator. Pet stuff. Seals, world facts, my health. Conversations, festivals. Cutscene. Valen status, March status, Celine status. Has been to Harvest Festival Juniper 1.0. Has been to Shooting Star Festival Celine 1.0. We've been to Shooting Star Festival with March the first year. Then do we take Caldaris or we take March a second time? It might have been March twice. Then Celine, then Ceridia. Harvest Festival setup, Spring Festival setup. Ari name Guinea. So there is a value here for what the name of the farmer is. Ari is the default. People like to debate what is canon. Who is the farmer, right? Like, what is the actual thing? Forget all the other player stuff that you could choose. What's the canon for the game? We know it's Ari, what else is true? What's true in canon for a game like this is whatever you do is canon to your save. That's it. Ari is whoever you are. Ari is simply the default name. So you don't gotta stress it too badly, guys. So if there's a value for Ari name Guinea here, is there a value for the base birthday that it calculates subsequent birthdays off of? That's what I want. I want that base birthday. And of course this isn't in alphabetical order because all sorts of things are hopping in and out of conversations. Do I want to look for things like that? Because that was Ari underscore name. Is there gonna be an Ari underscore birthday? Henrietta drinking! Had item bomb. Had item is probably to populate, I don't know, The pop-up that comes up when you grab something for the first time. March post 8-hour steak. Oh, 8 heart steak. Charithia Zone. I could probably control F if I'm looking for birthday or if I'm looking for Ari. Post 8 hard romantic grouping. Da, Celine Bathhouse. Oh, date. Like date, Rias gem cutting. I want to take this extra slow and bounce my eyes around because of the lack of order to this. I don't want to accidentally miss it. RTBB null. Capybara count 4. 0.0. I could have 0.3 of a capybara. Lots of conversations, lots of ha, lots of da. Hey, MP83. MP, show it to you. You want to see the NFT that you requested a while ago when you asked for the Woody Poco NFT. And what was I playing? I was playing something else that I was struggling with, and I really wanted to get through that game. And so I didn't get my post-it note out. And my NFT minting mechanical pencil 0.5 millimeters to mint it then. You know, I've been thinking, calling these post-it note drawings NFTs were funny back in, what was it, 2020, 2022, whenever it was that they were coming out with that nonsense. Because it was very clearly mocking the NFTs, right? Their digital receipts that gave them no ownership of stuff, but they still acted as if they had ownership, and all that value dropped a billion times. It was funny to call my notepad doodles that. But I've been thinking, like, if I keep calling them NFTs, do you think people are going to be confused? And they'll think I'm sincere, and they'll come in thinking, oh, this guy is cool, and then they look at the redemptions, and they see buy an actual NFT, and they're like, oh, it's 2026, and this is an NFT guy. Like, we've had the laughs, we've had the jokes. Should I change the name now that the joke is long since gone? But I got your NFT, MP83. You asked for a Woody Poco NFT. And I got the Woody Poco NFT for you right here. You ready for this, MP? I had a vision as soon as you said what you wanted. I simply needed the time. So, let me try to better align this with the dimensions here. You got your Woody Poco, who is horrified at a whole swarm of foxes, not just one or two, but an entire army of foxes after his puppet flesh. And since Ann K seems to be pretty hip into Woody Poco too, I had to have Sad Cat there. who is simply extremely excited to finally meet her hero, even if he's getting devoured by foxes. He's getting beaten up, torn apart, his hat's flying away. But for Sad Cat, this is the best day of Sad Cat's life. So there you go, MP. There is the Woody Poco NFT that I can't keep stable here because I'm trying to operate with this mirrored view. Ah. So, hopefully that satisfies you. Now I just need Hordian to remind me what the NFT he requested a while ago was. Because I got the ability to look at old user rewards, and so I could look at old user rewards past and present. And so if I go into... where is it? Man, some of these are ancient. Request a page for them. Oh, that was Lunar Silver Star Story complete. And only one person actually redeemed something for the page of the manual. Remember Find True Love, MP? When I would pull up, what was it, Waifu or Laifu? I haven't pulled up Waifu or Laifu in ages, even casually. Okay. Nobody actually writes down what they want as an NFT, so Hordian has to tell me again what he wants, because all I got here is 3 months ago he redeemed it. The heck, Hordian? Otherwise, I could dig through several months of chat logs. But that's work. Is it okay to share with NK? Of course it's okay to share with NK. So, for now though, I still gotta pour through all this and see if I can't find an easy base value for birthday. We've seen multiple values for name. We had name, and then we had Ari name. So I'm hoping that there was a value for Ari birthday or something similar to that. Otherwise, I'm going to have to experiment with starting a new game, selecting birthday for a date that I think is a date I would want to change my birthday to. Either way, I don't want to do the math, you know? Though I guess one easy way to do it would be to simply play to the date in winter where I want to change my birthday to. Record what the numerical value for that day is. Play past that day, save and quit, and then open the file in this. Change the value of the birthday, save and continue. The trouble with that, though, is that the birthday value here is such a large number that I don't think that's saying that's what the birthday is for the 5th of spring. I'm thinking that's what it's saying the birthday is for the 5th of spring year 4. So I gotta find if there's some other value that says what the base birthday is, and then future calculations in player.json calculates off of? Not being a game maker myself, my limited experience is a little bit of Neverwinter Nights editing, a little bit of Adventure Game Studios, very minimal, an even more minimal amount of basic and computer class, and my job was just to make the menu to link everything together. So I have no inside knowledge for how the logic of the game is supposed to go. All I can do is look up the skirt, see what values are where, and then hope that I could bring it to where I want. And that means we gotta do some more digging. There's Valen's birthday. Look at that. Valen's birthday is a whole 4,838,400. 4,838,400. Where's the... This would bring us back over to the manual save we made to toy around with. Valen's a winter baby, right? No. Valen's birthday is the first of fall year 4. And that has her down as 4,838,400 for her birthday. And the last spoken to's is 34,345,176. And the last time I spoke to Lewis would have been the last Saturday market, which should have been last week. And so somehow, fall 6, year 4, is a much higher number than the first of fall, year 4. So this probably isn't simply reflecting an ever-increasing number, unless 5 days really adds 30 million more to the count. Woof. And maybe that tracks with the 5th of spring being a mere 345,000. But then that doesn't make sense if we're adding several million on top of that. This is year 4. This means that it should be several million by now. So maybe it doesn't matter for the year? Maybe this is actually a suitable just date? Just day, month? If only I had somebody with decades of game-making experience looking under the skirt of games who knows how to pull out values to find hex codes or unknown level codes or graphics and this and that. If only there was somebody like that with a lot of free time readily available to help me find this birthday value if I wanted to change my birthday. There's Valen's birthday. If this was in some kind of order, that'd be nice. Because then, Luke's birthday is 1,728,000. Luke is a spring baby. So my birthday is, what was it? 350,000 or something like that? My birthday's 345,000. All the way in spring of 5. And then Luke's birthday is 1,728,000 on the 21st of spring. And then a season passes, we have Valen's birthday. Valen building. Valen's birthday was like 3 or 4 million, was like 4 million. And then Lewis's birthday was 34 million. And that's a pretty big jump, so maybe hundreds of thousand, 1 million, 4 million, 34 million? Since that's the last time I talked to Lewis? But it's gotta be accounting like the time itself, so minutes and hours too. Yeah? Would it be? So it kinda makes sense then. Smallest number, bigger number. Even bigger number, more massive number. No. Lewis was over here. We spoke to him last because of the Harvest Festival. He doesn't go to the Harvest Festival. He goes to the Animal Festival because he shows off his... Was it rabbit or horse? Rabbit, right? And Mary's got the horse. So last I would have spoken to Lewis is Saturday. So 4 million, 34 million. Pockets of thousands, 1 million. There could be a logic to here that I'm not seeing. But I think I'll still keep scrolling through, see what other values we can find here. Dozie's birthday is 6 million. 6 million for Dozie. So we have 4 million here, and then 6 million there, as far as birthdays go. 100,000s, 1 million, 4 million, 6 million. I'm not going to count the last time talked to, because it's probably considering hours and minutes. And so that's probably a different value entirely if I just keep to the birthday values. 100,000s, million, 4 million, 6 million. So we got a 2 million difference here. And then a 4 million, 3 million difference between 21 of spring, then season, then season. I don't think that's mathing out, because the months are of equal length. There's no short February, there's no 30-day and 31 days. But I'm also just rounding to the million place. And so it could be that by neglecting the 100,000 places, that I'm neglecting the full scope of the numerical internal timeline. There's a lot of value squeezed in here, and I don't even know if my birthday base value was hidden inside. Since we're seeing everybody else's birthday values, it's very likely that the birthday value here is the only value I need. This calls for some experimentation with other save files, I think. Because there's time. I'm sure if you tack the time onto the date, that's when you get like the big 34 million whatever number for last spoken to. 34 million, same for her. But I would have last spoken to Adeline likely yesterday, very likely yesterday, at the very least the Harvest Festival. Look at how deep I'm in. This folder here, this little tab or whatever, goes all the way to down there. Let me scroll through with a bit more briskness. There's Juniper's. Juniper I know is a winter baby, right? 6,998,000. So nearly 7 million. Nearly 7 million for very late fall. That kind of tracks. 6,100,000, 6,900,000. So there's about 800,000 between these two, just about. Birthday date-wise. BWs. What if they had it where birthdays is just a plain text day month, and then there's another JSON file that says for these dates, the plain text day month is this time value. That'd make it easier for me. This would be so much easier if I was simply trying to change the state of the romanceable from friend to dating. Vera's birthday is 2,851,000. That's gonna be much earlier in the year, right? Vera is there. So 100,000, 1 million, 2 million, 4 million, 6 million and 1, 6 million and 9, verging on 7. So it is progressing. It is mathing up. I'm just not thinking in the game's math. Shooting Star Festival dates is 4,750,000. 4,750,000, 4 million and something, then 6 million, then 6 million 9. There is a logic to it. Mary's birthday is at a 5 million and 2. There's Mary from 4 million and something to 5 million and 2, then 6 million 1, then 6 million 9. Quest last starts, Iridia last spoken to. At least the dates are easy to ID. Adeline's birthday is at 8,726,000. That is a good landmark because her birthday is basically the leftmost limit to where I would want to put my birthday. I'm thinking someplace in the last week, but late in the second to last week is also pretty decent, I think. And so we now know that this date right here is 8,726,400. These tended to end in 400. So I'm wondering if that's like some other code in the game. Let me go over here and make some interesting dates folders. Raina's birthday is early in the year. I want to be a winter baby. That's what this all comes down to. Capricorn's January is both the start of the year, but also mid-late winter. And it feels better to put my birthday for late winter than early spring. I can't believe I last spoke to Dozy at 34,085,492. What kind of a monster am I? Harvest Festival. Gold. I could change the value of my gold. I'm already rich. I don't gotta do that. I don't gotta cheat. Beach State Festival. Beach Day has not made it into the game yet. I'm pretty sure that is a 1.0 release thing. Halloween Festival date. Halloween also isn't in the game. We got the Harvest Festival, but not a Halloween type festival. So it's probably going to be at the end of the month because Juniper is 6,990,000. So Halloween is considered the end of the autumn period. So if we sort of try to weave that to our world, then autumn would then go... Well, we say that would go August, September, October if you try to weave it to real world, and then November, December, January for winter? Or is it a fool's errand and trying to match it 1-1 in the first place, but it's very clearly not. This is 4 months of 28 days, equally to make up an entire year after all. Terithia birthday, 6 million. There she is right over there. 6,000,001, 6,000,006, 6,000,009, and then 7 million for Halloween. They probably want to put different names for Halloween, I bet. Gift Day is kind of vague enough, but for the 21st of winter, that is basically Christmas. Crop Festival. Year time. The year time in autumn is currently 5,811,452. Given the time right now is 6:20, the 400 is 6 a.m. probably? I don't know, because the day starts at 6 a.m. and a lot of these dates seem to end in 400, so I'm going to assume that means the thing, the event, the birthday, whatever, is 6 a.m. that date. And so 400 is probably 6 a.m. Maybe? Maybe? I'm guessing? All these last spoken tos, what a monster I am. Dell's birthday. 7 million is going to be deeper into winter, and by deeper into winter I mean early into winter then. There's Dell right there. I'm learning the logic that 7 million means early into winter. So maybe this isn't going to be too difficult after all then. I suppose one of the tests then is if we start a new game, start a new save file, and whatever birthday I put for myself, if we unpack that new save, brand new save, year 1, spring 1, and Adeline, say, still has the same birthday of 8,726,400, then that tells us I could just change my date to that value. And that'll be it. It's not calculating for anything new to update it to the year calendar, it is just there. The exciting content we have here, scrolling through JSON files and trying to make sense of numeric values. Gift festival date is 9,244,800, not 400, so it's not as simple as 400 to 6 a.m. It's probably more of like just a constantly ticking clock then, rather than any specific code for what 400 might be or might not be. Though maybe since the time only goes in 10-minute increments, then it's just not making use of the ones place and tens place in whatever internal calculations it relates to. Time until Ari birthday. Oh, there's a time until Ari birthday value. $2,440,800. Now I don't like that. Because it's not enough to figure out the date for my birthday then. I gotta calculate backwards. This might be a fool's errand after all. Because I could certainly figure out a good date and change it to that. But if for... Whoops. No, get out of there. If I gotta figure out the backwards counting for when the next birthday is, I can't do that. That's so much more effort than I could bother with. Maybe what I can do is if I figure out what date I want. We could put one save with the birthday on the 28th of December, say, the 28th of winter. And then if I go to a save, a brand new save, on the 1st of spring, then I could take that calculation for the time until Ari birthday. Yeah? Yeah. Because that'll be a whole year. And so if I play this game until the day after my intended birthday, save there, then I could put that exact same value for time till birthday, because that'll be the same one whole year. I might not know the logic of the internal timing, right? Like how it relates to the exact seconds, the month, day, year, whatever. But if there's one thing college taught me, it's how to plug things into an equation, even if I don't know the full theory behind the equation. I don't need to be a high-level mathematician to calculate the velocity of a star if they simply give me the formula and I plug in the applicable values into the formula, get the outcome I want. Where we're seeing plenty, that's a second Ari something we've seen. So what if I control F for Ari? Ari appreciation. Ari farmer. There's a lot of Ari. Ari birthday. Dialogue Ari birthday. Dialogue Ari birthday. I'm glad they have more dialogue for Ari birthday, but it's not what I want. It's okay, there's a limited number of characters. We'll get through this. There we go. Ari birthday, Celine romantic. Ari birthday, Nora high hearts. Rias romantic. Holt high hearts. Hayden high hearts. Balo romantic. Aelin romantic. Caldaris romantic. Ari birthday 0.0. And then time till Ari birthday. So Ari birthday, and this takes us back to the value we just found. So Ari birthday 00 in this list is probably a binary yes/no then. Which means that the value that matters probably is in player.json, where it says it is 345,600, which puts it very early in the year, before Luke's 1 million. That is giving me a lot more confidence in the value being a flat value for that date, and not that date for that year. So, let's experiment a bit To main menu. We've got our manual save there. We have an auto save here. I don't want to lose my auto save, but it might. Because I've only got the one autosave at a time. But I do have all of my past manual saves. It does kind of make things a bit cluttered. But every manual save you do keep, and we do have the manual save over here. Really hope I don't mess things up with my main saves by trying to change my birthday. But here we go then, let's do a new game. Could I escape to skip? Skip the cutscene. It's a lovely cutscene. It's a lovely game. You guys will see it if you play the game. I highly recommend playing the game. Character customization. The default birthday is spring 22nd. We'll make Ari not Ari. We'll go with he, him. We'll give some nice hair. Bit of a tan. Baseball shirt. Give him a jacket. And some pants, you nasty. Birthday, because I want to see what it says for exactly yesterday next year. This is Monday, Spring 1. We'll put a manual save. Actually, no, let's not quit just yet. I still have my autosave for Guinea. Good! Where's the calendar? We start with the calendar, right? Oh, we got barely... Well, it's a good thing I chose Adeline to be the marker date. Since we do have her birthday here, 8,726,400. And because she's one of the first people we speak to, we have her birthday here too. The calendar is empty because we haven't spoken to nearly anybody else. So... So let's have fun then, shall we? Saves, we got a new one over here. We'll do a copy here for not Ari. And then let's pull up the instructions we had here, run the unpacker. So, what was it? Vault C, X86 _64, dash PC dash Windows dash MSCV VC dash version 0.14, since the instructions were a bit outdated. Unpack original saves not RE.sav to unpacked saves. We'll make the new folder not Fari, not Dari. We're getting that initial one again. We're doing it from the correct place where the actual thing is. Does it want me to do the same dot slash? Now I'm once again doing the exact same stuff we were doing before. It's not recognizing Vault C, x86, 64, PC, Windows, MSVC, 0.14.0 E. .exe. And so, we go to unpack saves. No? Did I write unpackaged saves? I did write unpackaged saves. That's okay. Either way, we're not getting my stuff mixed up together, right? Which is why we're moving it to Notary. Keeping organized. Where was this? Was this game data? .json that we're opening in Notepad++. So let's see if the dates align. Adeline's birthday. Adeline. Adeline's birthday, 8,748,000. I was thinking, what if that, the hundreds place, is the year? Because we saw 400 a lot in year 4, we also saw 800. $8,748,000. It's not a perfect match, but I could see what happens if I'd actually advanced the time. Gift festival date does line up perfectly. 9,244,800. So I don't know what the discrepancy is with Adeline's birthday. One L till. 2 points lost. No? No time till Ari in the entire file. So, is this not an easy way to cheat the calculation for the time to the birthday? if I have it at the very end of the year. Is it because this way the birthday is ahead of us and not in the past? What if I advance the date to the 2nd? If I had the birthday as a 1st. If I had the birthday as a 1st, and then I advance time to the 2nd, the things I have to worry about here. I have a new notification, share pictures. Drawn by Guinea. Now how did my yellow post-it note lose all that color? So, strategizing. One thing that I could easily do then is that if I decide that I want my birthday to be, say, the 27th of winter or the 26th, maybe put it the same birthday as Adeline, then what I could ultimately do is we could go back to the primary save, and then we could play up to that point, to whatever day that is. I want it to be sometime between the 18th and the 28th, and not falling on to another holiday. 28th is going to be New Year's Eve in 1.0, 24 is going to be gift-giving day. If we do end up marrying Adeline, it'd be really cute if we shared a birthday, but otherwise I wouldn't want my birthday to be a unique event of its own. We play to that point. Unpack the autosave, because that gives us minute 0, second 0 of that date. Take that date and change Ari birthday to that date. And then my birthday becomes that date for every subsequent year. I think that'd be pretty easy to do. So, shall I just do that? Should I... Since we're getting more of the logic of the game internally, as far as what these numbers mean, and if they're truly counting up infinitely year after year after year, or if they're simply ticking the internal calendar, and they are simply ticking the internal calendar, the 34 million is probably... That's probably the accumulated every single thing going into infinity. Because all of the last time spoken to were in the 34 millions. And it seems like the year lasts until about 10 million. And so if we're 3/4 of the way through year 4, that kind of makes sense to me if it starts at 0, and so the end of the year is 10 million, and we're at 34 million, or something like that. Yeah, I think that makes sense, actually. 34 being roughly 3 years and a bit over 3/4 of the way through, so it's not quite at 40 million yet. I'm learning, but so far it's trivia because I have no way to apply it. But we're getting better at this. So, it does normally take me a whole stream to do most or the entirety of a season. That's what the underlying trouble becomes for time. So maybe what I want to do then is devote a couple of days to just playing through the game normally. But of course, we've basically finished all there is to do for the game up to this point. There are still artifacts to find, so I could do some artifact hunting. Let me see what we got in terms of artifacts and such at the museum. Because the farm is in a very good state now. We've got maximum relationship with all the lovers we want to love. More Snapchats, BF, please. With the Mines quest complete, that's basically the story of the game complete until 1.0 comes out. So, really the next major thing. Hey, Ceridia's here. I'll put ours. Never mind, I don't care anymore. Draconic culture. Drag is largely solitary. Customs created kept individually. Okay, Wings. Fish is missing what? Fish bait set is still missing 2 things. Just fish bait, so we keep getting stuff from our bugs in our terrariums, we can keep trying for fish bait. How many fucking snaps he's sending right now? Power off. Shutting my phone back down. So bait to complete the fish. Archaeology. I don't have the max for sunken artifacts. That's gonna take a bit of... Oh, that's dive spots. I gotta dive into the water. That's gonna take time. Ritual artifact means grinding out the mines to hopefully get a ritual room. And then when I get a ritual room, hopefully get this last anchor or whatever. Mist is gonna be a pain because the daily mist spots I have to hope isn't just shit furniture. And then when it does pop up, hopefully it's not just an opal, hopefully it's not just an ocarina. So, high chance for those to not get it. Floor have completely got it. Insects, what's that for insects? Bug pheromone set. I haven't finished the bug pheromone set? I thought I did. I guess that's common pheromone and some other thing over here. So only pheromones for the insect. So there's a few things we can do then to try to complete the museum. So maybe then what I'll do is devote some time to simply trying to complete museum stuff. Fishing, ritual, artifact grinding over and over and over. And if I'm doing ritual artifact grinding over and over and over, time is gonna go by so fast. So, maybe this will be the smart way of getting to year 5. So that when 1.0 comes out on August 5th, it'll be Spring 1, Day 1, Year 5. But no, that'd be the bad way to do it. I think what I should do then... Maybe what I should do is finish the game on the 27th of the month, 27th of winter. That way, we start 1.0 with New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve celebration into Year 5 on August 5th for the 1.0 release. For Spring 1, day 1, year 5. I think that sounds good to me. So for now, let me try to get one more value into here. Could I delete from here? No, not Dari will delete you. Sorry, not Dari. Sorry, not sorry. There should be a little animation when you delete it for like the character going wah, falling down. Okay. Not Dari, your file is now dead. So we'll get rid of you. And we'll get rid of you. You no longer exist. So let me see what happens if we do not Ari. Who was born on the 1st of spring. And so his birthday is today. So if I make his birthday, I can't make his birthday yesterday. And then go back to sleep, and then go back to sleep. So his birthday is next year. So we have a T minus until his next birthday, right? So, original saves. Let's go with the autosave over here. We still got my old autosave, so I guess the autosaves only erase autosaves of the same character then. And subsequent characters have their own autosave. We'll copy you to original. Mr. Not Dari. Then let's see about repeating the process. How many PowerShells do I have open? Vault C. Why have I got you up here? Dash X86 underscore 64 PC. Windows MSVC version 0.14.0.exe. Unpack original save slash notdari.sav to unpacked saves notari. Vault C x86 64 PC Windows MSVC PC Windows MSCV The 0.14.0.exe is not recognized. Not recognized! The command was not found, but does exist in the current location. PowerShell does not load commands to the current location by default. If you trust the command, instead type... Oh, it does want me to do the /. And because I have the administrative language of this computer set to Japanese, so I could play certain Japanese doujin games, such as Extra Power, it switches my slashes to yen symbols. Okay. So all I gotta do is put the / here. Thread panicked. Couldn't open .sav file. System cannot find the path specified. Unpack. Original. Not _ saves. There we go. And now we have our brand new Notary with gamedata.json. First, when we close out of this, we got a different gamedata.json for Notary. What am I doing? Want to go back to Notary. Game data. JSON. And so really, all I gotta do then, if I want the birthday to be the birthday that I want it to be, is get a Notary to the birthday that I want. Set it that way on character creation, and then copy-paste that birthday data to the main save. And then really all I'll need is a time till Ari birthday. Really? Huh. What if I skip the time till Ari process? What if I just change the birth date without changing the time till Ari? That's probably gonna break something. I could try skipping all the way to 5th of spring and then getting the value if I really needed it. But otherwise, I think I've gotten what I wanted out of this so far then. We got a better sense of how the numbers relate to the dates. And since now we know that it's not a permanent upward accumulation into infinity, that's the 34 million that the last time since Talk 2 was about. Since the calendar, in plain text, it's 4 seasons of 28 days each. In the game's computational logic, it's a 10 million unit year divided by 4 for the different seasons. And so, since now we know that those values are strictly month day, and not month day year, I just gotta find the date that I want then and plug it in there. Easy. And if somebody wants to save edit in order to change the state of their romances from simply high hearts to romancing, then we've seen how to do that. So we got some educational value out of this. So I think we got the roadmap then, the blueprint for what I want to do with the save editing. And with the full version of the game coming out on August 5th, all that's left for me to do, I think, is to play the game normally, probably would try to find some fish and artifacts to pass the time, to get past the date I want for new birthday, and then set it to that value. Maybe I'll start doing that this week. You know, just playing normally, Fields of Mistria, gotta come back to it every once in a while. If just because it's a heckin' fun game, it's sweet, I love it. But also to prepare us for the full version coming out. I want to start that full version either at the start of the year or at the cusp of the year. Hey, Chillin' Chum, holy smokes to you too! 15 stream streak! Because it's kind of like Terraria in that sense, right? Terraria, you have your world that you build up and you love, and that is your baby. But then a great big new update comes out, and that great big new update puts a whole lot of new content. And sure, in your world you love, you can do new events, you can find new items maybe, but you've already explored all the world. Your world's already been made. So all the extra stuff that got added to worlds, you can't use because your world's obsolete, now gotta start a new one, right? So if I were to play up to Spring 1 of Year 5, then Spring 1 of Year 5 would already be set in stone. It would be Spring 2